The Bengals have found their next star. Mitchell Tinsley put on a show on preseason game number 2 in primetime that could prove to be another weapon for Joe Burrow. We're going to break down what kind of night he had, along with the other details for the Bengals preseason game number 2. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. Happy to see you Bengals fans and join in on the discussion. We love hearing your thoughts, so be sure to drop us a line down below. Your thoughts on preseason game number 2. There was some good, there was some bad, and there was certainly some ugly. But still, we're going to focus on the bright spot for now. A star could be emerging right in front of us. Yes, Mitchell Tinsley, a name, can you admit, saying you knew about? Maybe you have, but you certainly do now. After seeing him on Monday, wow, that's all I have to say. The Bengals are already stacked at wide receiver, and they have depth. They have, of course, Jamar Chase. The Triple Crown coming into the season, you have T. Higgins, who was just re-signed, and Andrei Iosivas has been showing a lot of promise during training camp, coming in bigger, faster, stronger. All these things, it's like the one strength of this Bengals team seems to be wide receiver, and they're just going to pile on. It seems like they've got another star in the making with Mitchell Tinsley. That's the question everyone's asking. Who is Mitchell Tinsley? Yes, he caught 2 touchdown passes. And if you have not seen them, you've got to look up the highlights. They were fantastic. Coming from Jake Browning too. This was, the backups that were coming in by that point, but it was just something to behold. I mean, this is something that we'll get into. Joe Burrow, he has high remarks for him as well, but Mitchell Tinsley, this is someone that maybe was on the bubble, was fighting for that position. But it's funny because this one game has probably propelled him to be on the active roster. And I'm all for it. The Bengals need as much depth at any position, even if they are very strong at wide receiver. Of course, your Jamar Chases and T. Higgins, Andrei Iosivas, even Charlie Jones, when healthy, you can make that argument. They've got some elite receivers on this team. Mitchell Tinsley, he might be the next star in the making. I mean, you see this catch. He made these just out of the ordinary catches. This wasn't like wide open. He had good coverage on each catch, and he was able to use great body control coming back for the ball. Jake Browning, again, that's another topic for another day. The offensive line. It seemed like Jake Browning was getting roughed up, but even Jake Browning had a good night. He made some great catches, great throws that, they were rushed, but they were still getting there. And Tinsley was able to finish it off, as you can see, with catches like this. Just wow. This is what the Bengals are good at. They're good at getting wide receivers on this team. What else is there to say? You can say also there's the Joe Burrow factor. Maybe, Joe Burrow, but this was Jake Browning throwing. And that's what's really exciting to see what Joe Burrow can do. But Joe Burrow, he had praises and was saying great things about him as well. This is what Joe Burrow had to say after the game, talking about Mitchell Tinsley. He said, "That guy has been making plays all camp. Hopefully he secured a spot for us. He's a smart guy, knows all the positions. When you have a guy you can trust like that, it's very valuable." High praise from Joe Burrow. What else is there to say? You got the eye test on Monday, seeing these catches, but to hear that from Joe Burrow, he even said as much that this is probably the deepest they've ever been at wide receiver. And you hear those words and think, okay, well, now you're seeing for yourself. He was true to his words. I mean, before this, I'm sure that room was very competitive. This is the kind of thing that needed to happen to put one of those guys over the top. So I'm excited to see the depth here. I mean, if we're going to talk about the Bengals, obviously their offense, it doesn't seem to be the problem outside of the offensive line. I'm all for it. Just double down. Just be that elite at the position. We can talk all day long. They need to improve the defense. That's another topic we'll I'm sure going to be dissecting, getting into week 1 and beyond. That's going to be the topic of discussion, is this defense. But hey, this is exciting. This is exciting to see that even if a guy gets injured, goes down, you have guys like Mitchell Tinsley that could step in. I mean, making plays like that. If he can just keep it up, I mean, wow. That's all I have to say. I was just amazed. Just not 1, but 2 unbelievable catches. They were just fantastic. And you're talking about the first touchdown happened, and Barrett Carter, another rookie to keep an eye on. He's a linebacker that they drafted this year. He made that interception. And right afterward, you have this catch right here. I mean, it's just fantastic to think about. This wide receiver room is very competitive. Now, you think about it, what is it probably going to look like with that wide receiver room? Well, obviously, you got Jamar Chase. He's going to be there. You got T. Higgins. You got Andre Yosavash kind of securing that number 3. I would say, without a doubt, he's the number 3 right now for sure. But Jermaine Burton was kind of the other guy with all of his issues last year, still kind of looking like that number 4 receiver and kind of challenging Yosavash for that number 3. I would say Yosavash definitely has that secured. I love Yosavash in that role, actually. So I hope that it continues. I'd love to see what Burton can do too. But there's your 4 guys right there. I would say Charlie Jones is your number 5. He has shown in the special teams return, he's very valuable. But also as well on Monday night, you could see some passes coming from Burrow. There's that connection. It just feels like Burrow has that certain connection. It's very unique and different. And it's so much fun to watch the different connections that Burrow has. There's something with Charlie Jones that he has. And I would say that's a guy to keep an eye on because he caught a key 4th down pass. It was a tight window too. I mean, Burrow just really put it on there. So that's something to keep an eye on. I think, having that kind of a chemistry with that, you're talking your 5th receiver. Again, that's just got me excited. The depth of this wide receiver room is just unreal. It's crazy. But again, you have Mitchell Tinsley probably going to be at that number 6. Now, the Bengals like to keep traditionally 7 guys. So the fact that he's at 6, that tells you he's probably got a spot secured on this team. The other guys to keep an eye on is Isaiah Williams, who's also had a great camp. I wouldn't be surprised if he's maybe your number 7. You've also got Kendrick Pryor and Cole Burgess. Those are your other guys that are fighting for a spot on this 53-man roster. But what else there is to say? I mean, Mitchell Tinsley, he's pretty much got that locked up now after this game. He had a great camp even leading up to that. He's been getting praise from Zach Taylor as well, telling the media at different press conferences that he has a lot of faith in him too. This is also a guy that came in from the Commanders. So we'll see what else he can do. This is one game. I know it sounds like I'm just gushing about 2 catches. It gives you the possibilities, right? He's still got to go out there and prove, yes, I can be, if it's a number 6, if it's whatever, a guy that can just step in when there's injuries. That gives Zach Taylor a lot of options. I think that's the excitement is this Bengals team has high aspirations, making the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl, and teams that go far have depth. Start one piece at a time. It seems like wide receiver, you've got the depth there. Now, if only they could do that with the offensive line and the defense. Again, that's a topic for another day. But still, we'll focus on the positive when it comes to that. Just a few notes. Yes, the defense struggled. You're going to be hearing about that a lot. That'll be a topic for another time. I think we're going to be talking about this defense for a while, just due to, again, the hope is that the Bengals are going to be making the playoffs. They're going to be going to the Super Bowl. You've got to have some kind of serviceable defense. I do believe that, as Zach Taylor said, he said he was still happy with this defense. He did make an interesting note, though. He said that they are holding things close to the chest. So this is preseason. Again, this doesn't count. This is early. This is guys trying to get things clicking. You also don't have your full team together. There's still cut down day on who they're going to keep, who's going to be the starters. You're rotating first and second lines out. But I do believe we got to wait and see with this defense. That's all I can say. It's concerning. I'm definitely concerned. I don't love seeing the big thing that you're going to be hearing about was 74 yards for the Commanders on just 4 plays. And that's just not going to be good. That's not good. It just looks too much like the defense from last year. Poor tackling throughout. Let's hope they clean that up. I'll remain optimistic, but I've heard it of all the concerns, and you know what? They've earned it. They should be getting some flack for how bad they looked on Monday. The plus side is it was preseason. It doesn't count, but they're going to be under the heat. They're going to be under the microscope, so to say. this season. They've got to improve. Simply put. But we're going to focus on the good for now. It looks like we've got ourselves a star in the making with Mitchell Tinsley. Keep an eye on him. Who knows? They're going to probably need him down the stretch come playoff time, especially when you're getting deepened with injuries, things like that. I think he's going to be an exciting player to watch as we get closer to this regular season. Cannot wait. We want to hear from you guys, though. What did you think of preseason? What are your thoughts? It can be about the defense. Yes, it can be about the offensive line, which also looks shaky as well. But what are some good? Maybe some good, bad, and ugly. What are your picks for those on Monday night's game? We want to hear from you guys, so be sure you drop us a comment down below. And again, if you have not already, smash that subscribe so you'll be all up to date as our new videos drop. So that's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, Hoo Day.